YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we are gonna talk about the Vernulyzer Fairies. Now, I really been meaning to use this type of deck, or the purest form of this deck, way back. Now, the best combo with this type of deck is the Adamantibators and the Earth Machines, which is really formidable for its own archetype. Also, having to rely only for Earth monsters is quite a power up for Earth monsters as well. But yeah, we're gonna talk about first the purest form of the Vernulyzer Fairies and not using those type of archetypes. But yeah, I got bored, so just gonna have to copy one of the decks from the Master Duel website, and this is what we actually got. It's not half bad to actually use this type of deck. And then if ever you have one copy of Exterior or one copy of the Hex Seal Fusion on the field, you can just tribute this card and a copy of Naturia Beast to get a hold or get a copy of your, or spell summon a copy of your Exterior. So yeah, that is the basic gameplay there. That's why we have 3 copies of Hex Seal Fusion, of course, really interesting for a card. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Max C, that's basically your hand traps there. We are not using Called by the Grave or any sort of negates like Imperm or Crossout Designator, because we are using 2 copies of Sekas Light. Now, there are some cases Second Light is a really good pot of greed effect. Also, if ever it's in the graveyard, it floats. Send 1 card from your hand to your deck, and then draw 1 more card. It's a really good reload effect. What else? So 2 copies of each of the gadget monsters, the red, the green, and the yellow. Really important for the deck. 1 Revival Golem and 1 Barrier Statue though. Now, you might be wondering, how can I even get a copy or get a hold of our researcher here? It's not really a problem because we have Gallant Granite here for to search for your Adamantibator monster, which is easy enough to actually summon to the field. Other than that, you have 1 copy of Flowering Fields, the Thawing Mountains, draw 1 more card. The Misting Seedlings allows you to get a hold over 1 Earth Fairy monster, which is also your Ishizo cards, which is your 2 copies of Keldo, the 3 copies of Modora. That's basically it. We are not using the Kelbeck or the Agido here because we don't want to send more cards to the graveyard here. So yeah, that's basically it. Your other Vernulyzer, Flourishing Hills, allows you to get a hold of 1 Vernulyzer card, basically, because we don't have any Vernulyzer spell or traps. And then the 2 copies of the Awakening Forest, which of course is basically a Foolish Burial effect. That's basically it. Oh yeah, and then 1 copy of the Vera. Vera is an Omni Negate in a sense. Or was it just a Monster Negate? Monster Negate, and then also Monster Reborn effect during your opponent's turn. This type of build, or this kind of build, has a copy of Spear Mode, which is, some cases it's really good, and some cases it's really bad. Now, you can go with the Kaiju here. Much easier enough to use the Gamma Seal as its only Kaiju. Or, if you are locked into an Earth monster, it's much better if you go with the Humongous monster, which is also an Earth monster. So a really good Kaiju to actually add into the deck. For the sake of this type of build, we are going towards just the 3 Spear modes, which is not that bad. Extra deck wise, 1 Exterior, 1 Beast, 1 Bar on the floor, easy enough to summon to the field. Having 2 level 4s, 1 level 2, which is also your Adamantibator Researcher. I think that's the only tuner that you have here, except for Ash Blossom. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, your Zodiac monsters, your Trident, your Borbro, and your Chakanine. Your Baguska, 1 Gallant Granite, and Zeus. That's basically your XZ monsters there. Link monsters, you have your Cross Sheep, your Transverser. Very good effect actually, just to swap cards depending on the arrows it points to. 1 copy of Soldier of Chaos, 1 Rattan. Rattan is a really good card actually. But you can spell summon a monster with the same type. Basically, it's really hard to actually achieve this type of first effect. But the second effect, having to pop 1 card during the battle phase, is really good. Most of the cards actually is useful outside the battle phase. But yeah, this one is an exception. Also, it's an Earth monster, so might as well use it. And lastly, we have Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Really good effect. I really want this in most of my link-based deck, and by far, one of my favorites. That's your deck profile, guys. Let's move towards the replays, and I'll be showcasing how this deck actually works. So, let's go. Alright guys, so first game that we'll have, I'm gonna showcase you guys one of the luckiest games that I have with the tier element, or against the tier elements. So to start it all, first we have 1 Researcher, 1 Green Gadget, 1 Keldo, 1 Spear Mode, and then 1 Sekas Light. it's really lucky enough to actually got a copy of Researcher on our starting hand, having it to only one copy. But yeah, we don't need to search it. So to start it all first, we go for Second Light. Our opponent here, I think actually yeah, he maxed it here. So we can't actually summon a ton of monsters, basically. So our goal here is to summon our Naturia Beast to the field, basically. So we got one copy of Ash Blossom from the Second Light Banish. So we have one level 3, and that's basically what we need to actually go into the beast. Sadly, we didn't get a copy of Hex Shield also, so it was very sad, but needless to say, we can't spell summon any more enemies. So Naturia Beast to the field, and that's basically our end board right there. Not that much, but like I said earlier, we got lucky. One is going second. Go for Scream. We negate that with the effect of Beast. Now, the downside for this type of gameplay is because destroys a card, which is typically not the best effects if you're going up against a tier elements deck. But even so, like I said earlier, we got lucky. So from the Scream, he got us a copy of Sulik, and then since effect of the Beast, send a copy of the Revival Golem, or from the top card from our deck to the graveyard. It was Revival Golem, which will summon it. Sadly, he actually used 2 copies of Scream here. And a copy of Terraforming. I don't know what this guy is actually doing. I'm not sure if he's reading actually. But yeah, that's basically his entire spell cards. And one face down. Like I said, we got lucky. So on our turn, we got a copy of Ash Blossom here. We go for our combo, but we got Ash Blossom. So this guy was actually lit on card effects. 1 Maxi and 1 Ash Blossom, and then a search for the field spell and the Scream. Really insane. Needless to say, you can't do anything else. Just attack the face down card and put our Revival Golem on defense. On opponent's turn, just end his turn. I think he's saving up some cards, basically, because he actually got a copy of Tier Elements here. But yeah, on our draw, we got a copy of the Hex Seal, which was perfect enough. Go for Exterio, spell summon the Exterio. Now, the thing here, what I did, I used the effect of Medora. It wasn't really the best of choice, and it was actually a misplay. I do admit it, because ever you'll draw into a copy of 1 Vernusylph Fairy, you can just spell summon the beast back to the field. So that was a really bad misplay on my part, right here. Also, it was a really good counter, of course, to against the tier elements. But I was thinking, this guy has a copy of Amadora also in his graveyard. Might as well gonna just bounce it back. But yeah, go for damage to 800. That's basically it. I was just really complacent because we have Ash Blossom and we have 1 Omni Negate for Exterio, which of course actually worked for some reason. Our opponent is going to summon Rhino Heart here and then set 1 card for the Sulik, basically. Luckily, we have Exterio, so he can't do anything about that trap card, by the way. So we got for Seedlings, and a copy there, spell summon 1, which is our Vera. Vera will control 1 card in the field. You'll try to use Sulik. But like I said, Exterio, really good card. That's basically it. Get a control. Yep, get a copy of Havness. Normal summon our Awakening Forest. This is actually game, by the way, so that's why I just normal summon the Awakening Forest. So other than the archetype effect of spell summoning 1 monster from the graveyard to your side of the field, the Awakening Forest, I think this is the only card that has a secondary effect wherein it can double the attack of 1 Vernusylph Fairy on the field. Which of course we need to target into our Vera, which easy enough can end us the game. Our opponent is going to chain with Havness here, which we can just negate with the effect of our Vera. And then since, like I said earlier, it's really bad to actually just send cards or send tier element cards to the graveyard. Needless to say, just summon the effect into Winda. Easy enough to destroy. Spell summon 1 Gallant Granite, and that's basically our only spell summon. And go for game. That's basically it. Alright, so game number 2, guys. We got 1 Maxi, 1 Hills, 2 copies of Keldo, and 1 Second Light. Oh, we really need to go with Second Light because that's basically our pot of greed. And we got a copy of Seedlings and 1 copy of Medora. We should have gone with Medora here, but yeah, it's much better to use it with the help of our Vernusylph Fairies, which of course get us a ton of resources. There we go. Go for Gallant Granite, and luckily we haven't get negated or disrupted here. So Granite into Researcher. Researcher will be spell some to the field, and we try to excavate a copy of Hex Seal here. Sadly, we didn't. So might as well just gonna summon our copy of what you call this, level 3, which is the only level 3 that we have, which is the Duck Seedlings. There we go, and an extra body in the field for Revival Golem. So we got 1 Monster Negate and a Spell Negate. So still have normal summon though. This was supposed to be for the Hex Seal, but we can't do anything. So our opponent start off. I think we're going up against Drytron here, which is somewhat better because our opponent is using the spell card type of Drytron, and we got Forbidden Droplet. So sad enough, we can't do anything else. Of course, Forbidden Droplet is a really strong card effect. There we go. So we only have a Monster Negate, which is easy enough. And Drytrons is based on Spell Summoning, so dropping off a copy of Maxi will allow him to stop his Spell Summon. So his only choice here, attack my beast, send it to the graveyard. Now the other effect of Vera is Spell Summon a monster during our opponent's turn from our graveyard. Easy enough. Game number 3, guys. So we have 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Seedlings, 2 copies of Green Gadget, and 1 Medora. So not the best of hand, but at least we have 1 copy of our Vernusylph Fairies. Our opponent is going first. We're going up against a Live Queen deck, so we don't want him to gain more resources out of this. Luckily, we have Medora, of course. We just need to have this in the graveyard. So he's going for Lila first, which is sad enough. I think he doesn't have... I was really thinking that he has a copy of Frost here, but yeah, doesn't. That 1 card, and I think this is the Imperm here. So we got draw into a copy of Flourishing Hills. Send that card there. Use the or get a copy of our Mountain just to draw 1 more card. So Green Gadget gets a hold of Red Gadget. Use the effect of what you call this? Our Mountain. Spell summon the red. Get a copy of Yellow, and that's basically it. Level 3. So this is actually preparing us into a copy of, or getting a copy of our Researcher here for Gallant Granite. But like I said earlier, we got Imperm because of the Imperm. There we go, and we can't do anything else about this. Can't do anything about this type of deck once Gallant Granite is negated. But luckily, we got Medora into the graveyard, so that's really important here. There we go, send a copy of Researcher. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't I summon Researcher here? The effect of the Awakening Forest is really bad, actually. Can't spell summon the card that he actually dropped to the graveyard. So, yeah, this is the only card that actually drops a copy of Earth Monster, so might as well just gonna drop our Researcher here, rather than, you know, nothing at all. So that we need to have another target. So green, get a copy of red, and we go for Black Lesser Soldier of Chaos, which is not that bad of an effect. Attack his monster, then attack twice for the next game. Which is easy enough to actually do, or attain. On his turn, another copy of Sunny Snitch, Sunny Snitch. Physical to the field, we chain with our Maxi. Now we just need to draw into a copy of Ash Blossom here just to stop things. Or yeah, 1 copy of Maxi is okay. But yeah, Physical Lila to the field. Now since he's gonna spell summon the Physical, we just use Medora, and that's basically how we stop the combo. But our opponent has the Parallel Exceed, so really insane. But like I said, Ash Blossom kills actually kills off this combo. So there we go. I think he scooped here. Yeah. Alright guys, so last game, and we have one Ash Blossom, one Fields, Green Gadget, one Medora, and one Second Light. Always getting a copy of Second Light in most of my games. We're going up against Adamant Splitters, which he start off with a copy of the Analyzer, which means he doesn't have any other cards to actually start off his combo here. So, lucky enough, that one card and end his turn. Also, take note on the positioning. He actually summoned this monster on the left side, furthest left side. Not it could be in the middle, but yeah, this is actually really good for our part, and I'll tell you why later on. Second slide, gonna join to a copy of one Seedling and then one copy of Medora. Use the effect of that. Get a copy of our Mountains for another draw power. Green Gadget, Spell Summon, get a copy of Red. Seedlings allow us to draw. So a copy of Keldo, and we go for our typical gameplay. So Gallant Granite, there we go. Try to get a copy of our Researcher, which I think we got negated here. Yeah, we got negated for an Imperm. And so we can't do anything else about it anyway. Might as well just gonna. He was saving actually the fields, but we can't do anything. So might as well gonna spell summon a ton of monsters to the field, anyways. So we'll go for that, and we go for the Transverser. Like I said earlier, the positioning, guys. So get a copy of Analyzer, trying to get a copy of our Researcher, but sad to say, can't do anything else. So might as well gonna get a copy of our Hex Sealed. If ever we join to a copy of our Vernusylphs Fairies, might as well. And we go for Rat 10. Metal Face, pop one card, and still we can use the effect of Analyzer during our opponent's turn. And yeah, please don't take notice of that, because that was another misplay on my part. So, but I was thinking actually to get a copy of our Gallant Granite and then more copies of the Hex Seal. That is why I reshuffle it. But down the line, I was thinking, yeah, that was a misplay. So yeah, gonna spell some a ton of monsters there. Or for Gallant Granite, good thing we actually dropped a copy of Maxi here because of that. And negate, and that's it. That's basically the end of the game. So that's it, guys. Let's go back to the outro. Alright, so those were the replays, and that is the deck profile for you guys today. Keep safe, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. So, see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.